Next on Worcester News Tonight, shoppers head back to the mall for post-holiday returns. Plus, Worcester prepares for its annual New Year's Eve celebration. A look at this year's festivities. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Madison. We begin tonight in Worcester, where police arrested a man for threatening his family with a gun on Christmas. The incident happened on Marlboro Street just after midnight Sunday morning. According to police, a 24-year-old man became angry with family members. They say he kicked one person in the shoulder area, then pulled a gun and allegedly waved it around before threatening his family. Police responded and arrested the man without incident. A SWAT team was also called in. He faces assault and battery and firearms charges. Police are not identifying the man because this is considered a domestic incident. If you got a gift that wasn't quite right, maybe it was the wrong size or just not your style, today was the first opportunity to try and fix it. Shoppers headed to the stores to try and exchange gifts they got over the weekend. Our Rosalind Flaherty was at Solomon Pond Mall earlier today and joins us with the details. Rosalind?
Andy, the Solomon Pond Mall opened an hour early this morning to accommodate shoppers. And since most people had the day off from work, they say it was a perfect time for returns and to grab some of the great sales.
I have to return a bunch of clothes from Christmas.
The wrapping and opening of presents may be over, but the post-holiday deals and returns have just begun. Shoppers hit the Solomon Pond Mall the day after Christmas to get their hands on sales up to 85% off and exchange unwanted gifts.
I got a pair of sneakers that didn't fit, so I wanted to return them, and I ended up getting a different pair.
We got jackets, pillows, comforters, the works, what we need.
Fantastic deal.
Things we need once a year that we go for.
The area mall manager says Monday in the upcoming week is expected to be busy.
I'd compare it to maybe the week before Christmas or maybe the week prior to that.
Shoppers also expected Monday to be busy, but were surprised to not find too many long lines.
We thought it was going to be packed, but luckily the lines weren't that bad, so we hit it at the right time, I guess.
We're just doing some exchanges. It's actually not too crowded here this morning.
Richard Jones says he came shopping the day after Christmas to avoid chaos.
The traffic is unbelievable the day before Christmas, even the week before. And today there's hardly any cars on the roads.
Jones says he bought a Christmas present for himself Monday, hoping to snag a good sale.
$420 comforter for $100.
Jessica Richardson is shopping with her family. She says her mother-in-law got new tires for Christmas, and while they are waiting to be put on, they came looking for a bargain.
Usually wait a couple days because we're usually cleaning up the house and putting away presents and visiting with family, but we had this appointment, so that's why we're here.
Now, the mall manager says if you want to return something, make sure you come early and have your gift receipt or receipt with you. The Better Business Bureau of Central New England says be aware of a store's policy before making a return. Andy?
Rosalind, it looks like you didn't run into anybody that I shopped for, so I think that's a good sign. Huh?
I did not.
Rosalind Flaherty reporting for us tonight. Rosalind, thank you. And if you're among those returning items this week, just know some stores aren't as flexible as they used to be. According to consumerworld.org, Macy's, Kohl's, and Costco are among retailers scaling back their open-ended policies on returns. Drones also have shortened return periods. A drone bought at Target must be returned within 2 weeks. Walmart is 15 days, and you can't return a drone to Toys R Us after 1 month. A hiker found dead over the weekend in New Hampshire was from Holden. Authorities say they recovered the body of 26-year-old John Holden yesterday near the top of Bond Cliff. New Hampshire Fish and Game officers, along with the National Guard, assisted in the recovery. Authorities say Holden had adequate gear. Holden set off hiking on Saturday, was reported missing Sunday morning, and his body was found later that night. The town of Dudley has reached an agreement with the Islamic Society of Greater Worcester over a proposed Muslim cemetery. Last week, the town announced the proposed Muslim cemetery will take over 6 acres of land. The Islamic Society has the right to expand on the 6 acres, but not for at least 10 years. Earlier this year, the public hearing process for the proposal was halted when the Islamic Society filed suit against the town in state land court. The group originally wanted all 52 acres of land for the cemetery. A trustee from the Islamic Society says it's a relief they compromised.
Dudley has recognized the religious aspect of the Muslim burial and the religious aspect of Muslim cemetery. And we, under the Dover Amendment, we have a lot of protections, and we have quite a few concessions.
In a statement, the Dudley board chair, Jonathan Ruda, said the two sides have developed a mutually acceptable path and, quote, "We want to stress that the town's sole interest and motivation has been for all parties to respect the legal and regulatory process and has absolutely nothing to do with the religious affiliation of the applicant." Well, it is the last week of 2016, which means many will be ringing in the new year in style on the 31st. City of Worcester, of course, has its own celebration planned. Our Catherine Andrioli has a look at what to expect for First Night Worcester.
Preparations are underway for one of the oldest New Year's Eve celebrations in the country. Thousands are expected to ring in the new year in downtown Worcester.
This year, I think we had like 6,000 people or so. There was a lot of people coming in and out of here.
First Night Worcester draws families from all over Massachusetts. Executive Director Howard McGinn says the event takes an entire year to plan.
We really start our planning shortly after the first of the year. Believe it or not, by February 1st, we'll be planning next year's event.
This year marks the 35th anniversary of First Night Worcester. The event boasts several events and entertainment venues for families, and even a trolley you can hop on to navigate the city.
From 9 o'clock on, people will be out in town. There might be ice skating on the ice rink, going to museums, like the Ecotarium, the Art Museum, Old Sturbridge Village. So with your First Night button, you can go to all of these places during the day.
McGinn says the celebration has drawn more and more people every year. And with the biggest fireworks show planned in years, he says more people are coming to Worcester to ring in the new year.
As I said, this will be the largest fireworks display we've had in a long time. It'll be twice as large as last year.
Rain or shine, McGinn says the show will go on for First Night Worcester.
We never cancel. We have never canceled in 35 years, regardless of whether we go. So if it's sunny and warm, we're going to go. If it's a hurricane, we're going to go. We don't cancel.
There's going to be a lot of activities on First Night Worcester, including ice skating right here at the Worcester Common Oval. You will need a button to participate in those activities. You can buy one of these online at your local grocery store here in Worcester. The Worcester Common Oval, Catherine Andrioli, Worcester News Tonight.
In addition to Christmas and Hanukkah, today also marks the start of Kwanzaa. The week-long celebration focuses on 7 principles such as unity and self-determination. A feast is typically held on December 31st. Kwanzaa runs through New Year's Day. Well, holidays can be a bit stressful and can also cause a little bit of excessive indulgence, which has many people heading to the gym this week to work off all the holiday stress. Of course, for me, it's the Christmas cookies and the cupcakes, so some of that food needs to get worked off. Here's a look at Worcester Fitness earlier today. As you see, many were on the treadmill or using the free weights. The training staff says they run some special deals at the end of the month to try and help motivate people to get fit.
September are kind of the most popular times. It's a good starting over point in the calendar year. So we do see an influx of new members here coming up in the next couple weeks.
Some gyms and fitness centers also hold extended hours this week. Well, tonight in Falmouth, the community gathers to pay tribute to a high school athlete. James Lavin was driving last week when he and a friend were killed in a car crash. Our Catherine Connolly reports on how family and friends are honoring his life.
What do you say about the end of a life that was just getting started?
You listen.
It's a question Superintendent Nancy Taylor has been trying to answer since 2 lives were lost at just 17 years old. Owen Higgins on the left and James Lavin on the right were seniors at Falmouth High School.
You just try to get through minute by minute. And right now, I think that's what a lot of us are doing.
It was just last week, after all, Thursday night, that the boys were heading home from a hockey practice before the holidays when the car Lavin was driving slammed into a tree. Lavin died instantly. Higgins the next day.
Fresh and raw and painful.
And today was a reminder of just how painful goodbyes can be as a crowd of families, faculty, and students came to pay their respects to Lavin, the first of 2 classmates they won't see again.
They're wonderful kids, just wonderful kids, wonderful students, and wonderful athletes.
It's hard to find the words for a sight like this, but sometimes silence in numbers can speak volumes.
They'll be well remembered by this group and all of us in the community.
That was Caroline Connolly reporting. Also this evening, fans and the entertainment world are mourning the loss of pop singer George Michael. The singer died over the weekend of heart failure. Authorities are calling his death unexplained but not suspicious. Jed Maxfield has a look at George Michael's life and the legacy he leaves behind.
Christmas, I gave you my heart. George Michael's holiday classic, Last Christmas, sounds so much sadder now after the pop icon died at his home on Christmas Day of suspected heart failure. Michael's publicist says the 53-year-old was not sick. Police near Michael's home in Goring, England say his death is unexplained but not suspicious. Outside 30 Rock on Christmas night, George Michael's fans are mourning the loss of a legend.
Sad. It's awful. My girlfriend and I used to sing that song all the time, Last Christmas. That was our song during the holidays.
I love his voice and beautiful voice, beautiful, nice person. But I gotta think twice before I give my heart away.
Michael's biggest hits are like a soundtrack of the 80s. His first solo album, Faith, sold 20 million copies. After growing up Georgios Panayotou in England, he changed his name to George Michael and founded the pop duo Wham with his high school friend Andrew Ridgeley. Wake me up before you go. But Michael's fame skyrocketed when he emerged as a solo artist. His provocative music videos were major hits on MTV, only adding to his popularity. George Michael began speaking publicly about being gay in the late 90s after Los Angeles police charged him with lewd conduct in a public restroom. He was a strong activist for gay rights and AIDS research. He also struggled with drugs, facing several highly publicized arrests.